War rages across the mortal realms. New alliances are formed while others lie shattered, and the dominant powers ever seek their next conquest. As these two powerful forces prepare to clash, only one will rise victorious when the dust settles. While this and countless other battles rage on, one fact is becoming clear. The season of war has begun. This video is brought to you by the support of our channel members and the FLGS Partners, Warfire Minis, and X-Planet. Looking for a painting commission? Check out artwstudio.com.
Hello and welcome to Season of War! Today we are excited to bring you another game of Age of Sigmar, mixing things up a little bit. New army for you, Oliver, here, or at least in this game. You played them back in Fantasy when they
back when they had square bases.
Yeah, vampire
and they
counts.
were vampire counts. Yeah.
I haven't played Disciples of Tzeentch in a while, so I'm excited for them as well. Actually, just happened to perfectly match this table as well. So excited for that as well, and excited for this table. This is one of the ones we got done up for the recent Season of War GT, so excited to put it to use on the channel.
Very shyish, I love it.
Yes. But with that, always want to give a huge shout out to our premium members who made all the content possible, voted for this matchup as well for me to play Tzeentch, so they wanted to see them in the new book. A couple different things that I'm excited to test out here, but we'll get into that when we talk about lists. But otherwise, always want to give a big thank you to our FLG partners as well. X-Planet, if you're up here in Canada, check them out online. Or if you're in the States, you can check out Warfire Minis. Rolling their dice today, so they're perfectly matched with my all my green magic. Warp Flame, it's perfect.
Fantastic.
That's pretty much everything. And let's mission we're playing today. Realmstone Cache, very important. One objective in the center, small deployment zones. At the start of the third battle round, this objective splits diagonally or off to the sides, randomly into two objectives that we then fight over. So not a lot of objectives, obviously low scoring at the start here, and potentially all game, but that's pretty much everything, I think. So Ollie, do you want to jump in and take us through your list first?
For sure. So forgive me, I won't recite all the artifacts because this is my first time jumping into the army. But for my characters, which I have in a Warlord battalion, I have the Vangorian Lord, Vampire Lord, and Necromancer. Rounding out that battalion, we also have the Fellbats and the Graveguard. In Expert Conquerors, for the extra bodies, we have 3 units of 10 Skellies,
nice.
Just to clog up the middle and hopefully contest Jordan with all of those horrors, which are going to be a pain in their Expert Conquerors.
Yep.
And then I have 3 units of Blood Knights, all in Bounty Hunters for that extra damage. So one of the units is on the board here, unit 5. We have another unit of 5 off the table and the unit of 10. So hopefully gonna give Jordan some pain from the sides and the back if he decides to move
expose
around.
himself.
Yeah, exactly. So that'll be me. I will be a large number of drops, more than Jordan, who is 3.
Yep.
So I guess a good transition. We'll send it over to Jordan.
As you said, only 3 drops here. I was Battle Regiment, and then I had Expert Conquerors as well, but just with the 2 units of Horrors here. Only 10 bodies each right now, counting as 30, but as soon as they turn into Blues and Brims, that's 20 models counting as 60. So that could be pretty nasty if you can't chew through them too quick. Hopefully avoid your Blood Knights. But otherwise, I'm running Eternal Conflagration today, and I have Kairos and the Fate Master for the rerolls. Again, one of the armies that doesn't have one of the new books, so there's still janky rerolls and stuff. So that's great with the shooting, because it also, Eternal Conflag gives all my shooting +1 rend. In addition to that being great even just on the horrors, I have a unit of 9 flamers and then 2 exalted flamers. So a fair bit of shooting output. Doesn't seem like a lot of bodies, but they're counting as a ton. Obviously the horrors split and split again. And then Kairos himself, Master Oracle, he's got the ability to once per game change any dice roll that he wants to. So at that pivotal moment, hopefully we can turn the tides.
Yep.
And I think that's pretty much overview. Obviously the Fate Master here, is my general. He's got the command trait and artifact from the sub-faction. Again, old book, you still have to do it that way. Or you have ones you're locked into. And that's that. I am going to roll my Destiny dice now on camera.
Let's see what you get here, Jordan.
Only 1 6, 3 1s.
Ooh, 3 1s. That's really good.
Yeah, the 1s are handy. 3 4s, a 5, and a 2. So not the worst. Got a 6 in there as well.
Decent range.
Yep. And hopefully I'll be able to use those effectively.
One other thing that I forgot to mention in my list is I am bringing the Purple Sun, just because it goes with the table so well.
Yeah, only because of the table.
Only because that's the only reason.
Yeah, and I actually do have Umbral Spell Portal as well because Kairos, as you do. And again, I was lower drops here, so I'm gonna have choice. And Ollie, actually, before we get into that, you have 4 grave sites.
I do.
You thematically chose to just center them
in the center of the grave sites.
Yes.
It just seemed too good. So that's where they'll be. So no units in the grave sites right now, but if they die,
it's actually a nice square kind of place to put them central to everywhere. No matter where the objectives come down, hopefully be able to bounce around. But so that's that. Again, I have choice here. Ollie, I'm going to give you first turn.
Surprise, surprise. Okay.
Let's just jump into Soulblight Gravelords turn 1.
Let's do it.
The Soulblight battle tactic is against the odds. The Vampire Lord fails heroic leadership, but the Fate Master succeeds. The Necromancer fails to cast the Purple Sun. The Angorian Lord casts Flaming Weapon. The Vampire Lord casts Mystic Shield on the Blood Knights. The Gravelords score 1 and more objectives and complete their battle tactic for 4 points.
All right, so pretty quick, Gravelords turn 1. Battle tactic was just to put a unit on an objective without having other units, other GVs contesting it. Realizing now, we didn't do it in here, but I didn't actually measure if I was outside of 9 of this unit. I think I'm just outside of 9, which is good.
You didn't want to trigger the redeploy.
I didn't want to trigger the redeploy.
A 6 or something kind of.
So noted for people for future. Make sure you don't do that and skewer yourself on turn 1. So I was just out luckily there, but I didn't even measure it. I should have measured it in a tournament. That could have cost me. So got my 1 more and battle tactic. Got off a flaming weapon on Vangorian Lord and a Mystic Shield on the Blood Knights. Chose not to bring any other Blood Knights in because Jordan could potentially double. It's a lot of mortal wounds, a lot of shooting, a lot of rend. I just got to weather the storm here. So that'll be it for me, and we'll probably head straight into Jordan's turn.
Have a little more action on my turn with some shooting here.
Oh yes.
But that's it. We'll go into Disciples of Tzeentch turn 1.
The Tzeentch battle tactic is gaining momentum. The Fate Master and Vampire Lord both fail heroic leadership. The Vampire Lord uses the Grave Sand Shard. The Fate Master uses Lord of Fate. Kairos fails to cast Gift of Change. Kairos casts Bolt of Change, dealing 3 mortal wounds to the Blood Knights. Kairos casts Mystic Shield but is unbound. The Fellbats redeploy, moving 5 inches. The Blood Knights use all-out defense. The Flamers use all-out attack and deal 4 damage to the Blood Knights. One Exalted Flamer deals no damage, and the other deals 1 damage to the Skeletons. The Horrors deal 6 damage to the Skeletons. The Horrors deal 3 damage to the Fellbats. The Horrors spend 2 Destiny Dice to make their charge. The Horrors use Forward to Victory but fail their charge. The Fellbats use all-out defense. The Horrors use all-out attack and deal 3 damage to the Fellbats. The Skeletons deal 3 damage to the Horrors, and Fellbats deal 1. Tzeentch scores 1 and more objectives but fails their battle tactic for 2 points.
All right, Tzeentch turn 1 already making a little blunder. Battle tactics, there was 3 options that all amounted to the same thing, where I basically had to kill a unit, had to get on the objective and take it. So the one I went for, actually gaining momentum, I thought was a smart pick because that might be a harder one to do later, to hold more than your opponent, because if they split and I hold one and you hold the other, that's really tough. But here, I felt like that was better than, what else? I could have done against the odds, but I would have had to kill your Deletion Veteran unit anyways. My blunder, though, was I wanted to use those Fellbats to launch my charge in to the unit, so I should have picked the Skeletons, knowing that I could have shot them with all my 18-inch range stuff. Those Skeletons at the back, I killed a bunch of them anyways. I think, what, 6 or 7? 6 I shot and 1 more ran. So if I, again, should have chosen them for my battle tactic, so I could have finished them off with my Exalteds or something if need be. So that was a mistake at the start of the hero phase, just not fully planning my turnout. I do take the objective though, get 1 and more for 2 points. You know, kill 2 Blood Knights is not nothing. And
no.
Kind of set up, use my Exalted Flamers here to push your deep striking out further with your Blood Knights. Actually in this one, if I put my Flamers more central to the board where they're actually safer, you know, being further away from stuff.
Ironically they are,
And yeah, that's pretty much everything right now. So down a few points, dropping that battle tactic. But the ever-present priority is looming.
We'll roll.
That's a 5 with the Warpfire dice.
We'll roll a Scotland dice, see if Scotland's going to help me out. That's a 5.
Yep, you got it. So you win ties. Yeah.
Now, I do think it is worthwhile for me to go here, because you're going to put a lot of bodies on this. But I mean, potentially putting a lot of bodies on it anyway. Yeah, I think I got to go here just to avoid the double turn of shooting.
Okay.
So we're going to go into Soulblight Gravelords, turn 2.
Yes, sir.
The Soulblight battle tactic is Lust for Blood. The Vangorian Lord uses their finest hour, and the Fate Master uses heroic leadership. The Vangorian Lord fails to cast the Purple Sun of Shyish. The Necromancer casts Van Hel's Dance Macabre but is unbound. Vampire Lord casts Mystic Shield but is also unbound. The Horrors redeploy, moving 3 inches. The Flamers unleash hell and deal 9 damage to the Blood Knights. The Blood Knights use Forward to Victory, but Kairos' Oracle of Eternity denies their charge. The Vangorian Lord stomps the Flamers, dealing 2 mortal wounds. The Flamers use all-out defense, and the Vangorian Lord only deals 2 damage, with the influence of a Destiny dice. The Horrors deal 1 damage to the Graveguard. The Skeletons deal 3 damage to the Horrors. The Flamers deal no damage to the Vangorian Lord. Vangorian Lord uses Crimson Feast on the Graveguard, who deal 33 damage to the Horrors. The Horrors deal 1 damage to the Vangorian Lord, who heals 2 wounds from the Hunger. The Horrors use Inspiring Presence. The Gravelords score no objectives and fail their battle tactic for 0 points. That frickin' sucks.
All right, so turn 2 for the Soulblight Gravelords, and it was very interesting. Hero phase, nothing big. Didn't get any spells off. Movement phase, popped on the 2 units of Blood Knights as you saw, and got my bat skedaddled. So I went into charging. Failed to charge on the right flank with the unit 5. Went to the left flank with the unit 10. Had to use a CP to re-roll it. Got it with
Rolled
a
a 12.
Jordan chose to use the fate dice at that point.
The Kairos dice, yeah.
Kairos dice to make me fail that. So that was, I mean, the 12-inch charge would have been gargantuan for me. So definitely the right call. Then made a charge, only a 3-inch charge with the 3 remaining Blood Knights, and they got peppered by the by the Flamers. So the Flamers doing that
still
work.
re-rolling from his command ability, like that aura.
Yeah. So
even though they were on 5s, it's a lot of dice and 5s re-rolling.
Yeah, super strong. So that was great. And then after that, got the thing that was tragic for me was my battle tactic was the overwhelming hunger, lots of hungry vampires. So I need to have 2 vampires get into combat and then kill a model. Well, they died. He made it in, the Vangorian Lord made it in, but the Vampire Lord failed a charge with double 1s, and he just needed a 3 or a 4. And I had no more rerolls. So I guess at that point, that's where I maybe should have done the charges in a slightly different order.
Well, even even if you say save the reroll there, it means I still have the Kairos dice.
You saved the Kairos dice. So I got rid of the Kairos dice. I got rid of a few dice. You did use this save, a 6+ save
for the Flamers,
for the D6 damage on the Flamers.
Because that could have killed 3.
Could have killed another 3 Flamers. So you know what? Not a terrible position to be in. Would have been,
to use a lot of resources.
Yeah, would have been nice to kill another this unit of horrors if possible. But we'll go into Jordan's turn here, and he'll keep the objective. So I'll actually score 0 points this round, which is quite a devastating turn of scoring for me. But
that's just on the back of the horrors, obviously being in bounty hunters.
Yeah, being bounty hunters, counting
you
as...
blew up that one unit pretty good.
Yeah,
did what, 33 damage?
33 damage from the Graveguard. So that was nice, and does kind of maybe show if I had put them actually in the bounty hunters, they could have just been doing that much more damage.
Or even just if they don't. Well, obviously I have the more magic power, but you get like something like Van Hell's off, and they attack twice.
Yeah. No, then they'd be very scary. Yep. So you know what? Not a terrible turn. Just a few things that could have hopefully gone my way to just get a few victory points. So with that, we'll go right back into Tzeentch and see if they can answer.
Yes, sir.
The Tzeentch battle tactic is head-to-head. The Fate Master uses heroic leadership, which the Vangorian Lord fails. The Fate Master uses Lord of Fates. Kairos fails to cast Gift of Change. Kairos casts Bolt of Change and deals 6 mortal wounds to the Vangorian Lord. Kairos casts Arcane Bolt, then unleashes it, dealing 1 mortal wound to the Vangorian Lord. The horrors finish off the Vangorian Lord. The Flamers use all that attack and deal 13 damage to the Graveguard. The Brimstones finish off the Skeletons. The Exalted Flamer finishes off the Graveguard. The other Exalted Flamer deals 1 damage to the Blood Knights. The Brimstones deal 3 damage to the Skeletons. The Vampire Lord deals no damage. The Horrors deal 1 damage to the Vampire Lord. The skeletons deal 1 damage to the brimstones. The necromancer deals 2 damage to the horrors. Ten Graveguard return from Endless Legions. Tzeentch scores 1 and more objectives and complete their battle tactic for 4 points.
All right, so Tzeentch turn 2 here. It's pretty good for me. Again, with 1 objective, battle tactics are a little tough, but I did head to head. You only had those 3 skeletons left in that 1 unit, so shot them off with my brimstones. But yeah, it's pretty effective across the board. My paint horrors killed your Vandorian Lord in shooting, which freed up. They were in combat anyway, so it didn't matter. But then I shot all my flamers, blew up the Graveguard with help from one of the Exalteds, and then this Exalted did 1 damage. Just he was out of the reroll range, which, surprise, when you're just rolling 4s, naturally not as good.
Yeah.
Iffy on spells, again, which wasn't the best. I don't generate a lot of fate points to begin with, but it would have been nice if I could summon a unit of blues next turn or something. But not yet, though I did get my battle tactic and hold 1-2 more here. So getting 4 points to take a lead.
So, yeah, because I only got the 4 points in my first turn.
Yep.
It's not bad.
Yep, so low scoring game right now. And we are into, as always, a big priority.
All right, French dice.
That's a 1.
That's a 5.
All right.
All right. Prio seemed to be going my way.
Yeah.
I have to take it here because otherwise it'll be...
Notable, you did bring 10 Graveguard back at my turn, which is huge because it lets you move them, charge, do whatever you want. So potentially some buffs.
There's some game here now. So we'll go into Soulblight Gravelords turn 3.
Yes, sir.
The new objectives appear on the top right and bottom left corners of the battlefield. The Soulblight battle tactic is gaining momentum. The Vampire Lord and Kairos both use their finest hour. The Vampire Lord casts Mystic Shield but is unbound. The Necromancer casts Overwhelming Dread on the Flamers. The Exalted Flamer unleashes Hell, dealing 6 damage to the Blood Knights. Kairos fails to roar. The Blood Knights use all-out attack and kill the Exalted Flamer. The Exalted Flamer does no damage. The skeletons deal 1 damage to the flamers, who deal no damage in return. The horrors deal 3 damage to the skeletons, who also deal no damage in return. The Blood Knights kill the Exalted Flamer. The Vampire Lord deals 6 damage to the horrors. Kairos uses all that attack and deals 2 damage to the Blood Knights. The Gravelords score 1 and more objectives and complete their battle tactic for 4 points.
Okay, so Soulblight Gravelords took the turn and got a few good things. We did best day on my Vampire Lord and he stayed alive, which was nice. And actually did a decent amount of wounds in combat. The objectives came down on the diagonals, so my Graveguard were just out, had to retreat them onto the objective or just move them back onto the objective to stay there. I don't know if I got any spells off. I did. I got the Misma, so these guys are -1 to hit for shooting. Your flamers, and then was able to get the skeletons in on a big 10-inch charge to tie them up a bit more. So maybe that will keep them busy from killing my Blood Knights. So both Blood Knights came in and made charges. One charge, I killed the Exalted Flamer, and the other charge killed the other Exalted Flamer. So was able to get my battle tactic, which was very tight.
Very dicey. So
it came down to basically, because we're five.
We actually tied on the objective, but because nobody previously owned it, it remains
uncontrolled,
uncontrolled.
Or contested. So I won't get more.
You'll get more.
Oh, I will get more.
But you won't get hold 2.
But I won't get hold 2. So I'll get 1 and more and my battle tactic for 4 points.
And your battle tactic specified you had to hold more.
And I had to hold more, which is tight. So
so 4 points.
So I will get my 4 points. So it's quite a close one here. And I think that was all I could kind of do. And Jordan's pretty tied up right now. So at least
not a lot of choices.
At least there's that going for me. At the end of the turn, I do have a dead unit of skeletons, so I can roll a 5 up to see about bringing one back from a gravesite.
Cool.
So I'm going to roll for a skeleton unit for this one, and I got a 6.
Nice, so 5 skeletons.
So yeah, I was able to bring in some skellies, and that'll pretty much be my turn.
Sounds good.
So we'll run into
Disciples of Tzeentch. Turn 3.
The Tzeentch battle tactic is against the odds. The Fate Master and Vampire Lord both use heroic leadership. The Fate Master uses Lord of Fates. Kairos casts Gift of Change, dealing 5 mortal wounds to the Blood Knights. Kairos casts Bolt of Change, dealing 4 mortal wounds to the Blood Knights. Kairos casts Arcane Bolt but is unbound. The Tzeentch summon 10 blue horrors. The Blood Knights use all out defense and the horrors deal 7 damage to them. The Brimstones kill the Fellbats. The Flamers use all out attack and kill the skeletons. The Brimstones deal 1 damage to the skeletons. The Brimstones deal 1 damage to the skeletons. The Vampire Lord deals 4 damage to the horrors, who deal 3 in return. 1 Blood Knight flees due to coherency. Tzeentch scores 1 objective and achieves their battle tactic for 3 points.
All right, Tzeentch turn 3 here was pretty solid. I just wanted to try and do a little bit of everything. Most of my stuff was tied up, so I wasn't really choosing my targets too much. Though I did retreat Kairos out, I finally got to 10 fate points thanks to the banners, or the 1 banner while it was still there. I don't know that I used it the best because I couldn't obviously pop it on an objective. I wanted to throw could have whipped the Fate Master over here to try and just summon a charge. Didn't make the charge. Didn't have the Destiny dice to guarantee it anyways. Now would have given me a hold more for a turn or two. Probably just one, if any, because the Graveguard or Graveguard. So I ended up just retreating Kairos so I could pop one in here, allowing me to shoot. I ended up shooting. Yeah, it wasn't super relevant because after I killed like 2 of the Blood Knights from this unit, you pulled yourself out of combat, which sucked.
It didn't mean I had to lose an extra one because of coherency.
Yeah, allowing me to shoot off that, finish off the Fellbat. Your hero's still alive, your skeleton's still alive. The middle doesn't really matter at all anymore, so now I wanted to kind of clear myself up so I could just like try to retreat onto the objectives. I didn't do it, so here I'm still happy with that because they killed the 2 Blood Knights by staying in combat, and I'm still around and I could retreat and start pushing objectives in future turns.
Yeah.
And I do then now take this objective, so I hold 1. Oh, I only did 3 points because I don't get hold more. So hold 1, and my battle tactic, which was against the odds of Kairos, just couldn't let these guys redeploy on. And that's about it. So I do have like 1 point lead right now, which in a game that's a stalemate could be pretty big. If we're looking at like starting to think about battle tactics and whatnot, what are achievable.
Yeah. It's quite, it's still really close. I mean, Jordan having a little bit of an edge here by a point.
Yeah, I have the...
If the prio goes Jordan's way, I think it's probably going to be game with the magic power that Jordan has. So why don't we go into it?
Yes, sir.
And we'll roll,
am I gonna roll
Team America dice.
Red Fate dice? Or
oh, that's a 6.
I can't even tie it. It's okay. I'm not going to get Jaina to roll it because I can't possibly win it, so...
Wait, you don't know.
That's I can't. I lose ties. But hi. That's pretty much it. And we'll go into a Soulblight turn 4.
Turn 4.
All right.
The Soulblight battle tactic is eye for an eye. The Vampire Lord and Kairos both use heroic leadership. The Blood Knights rally, returning 1 model. The Necromancer fails to cast Overwhelming Dread. The Vampire Lord fails to cast Mystic Shield. The Necromancer uses Forward to Victory. The Flamers unleash hell, killing the Blood Knight. Kairos roars at the Blood Knights. Kairos uses all-out defense and the Blood Knights deal 8 damage to him. Kairos deals 6 damage to the Blood Knights. The Brimstones kill the skeletons. The Vampire Lord deals 2 damage to the horrors and takes no damage in return. The Gravelords score 1 objective but fail their battle tactic to score only 1 point.
Alright, so Soulblight turn 4, and it was a little bit disappointing.
Not all you hoped and dreamed.
Not all of the dreams came true. Yep. So we did return, we rallied a model, so that started out the turn well. A unit champion came back. But the only thing to really do here is I need to kill one of Jordan's 2 big threats. So either Kairos, well, ideally both of them would go down or at least take a beating, or the Flamers. But with the Flamers kind of hard to reach, I decided I was going to just go into Kairos. And because they would have I would have been so peppered with shots. Now, maybe in retrospect, I could have put the 1 suicide in here and then had all 6, and then they for sure die. But it puts my Blood Knights in an awkward position.
And they're not fighting onto the objective.
They're not fighting onto the objective, which they are now. So the Blood Knights went in, and they kind of failed to do a lot of damage. They took...
Not enough.
Not enough. They put 8 damage on Kairos?
Yep.
So that's something.
Respectable.
Yeah. But not enough to kill the bird, and so he's going to put a bunch of mortals back to me. Notably, I tried to suicide bomb my Necromancer into your Flamers in order to get rid of that Unleash Hell, which was what killed the single Blood Knight. Because
he could have done work on them. Probably. Go up to 3 damage, right?
Yeah. So, because he is, they're...
no, they're not. Yeah, they are Glacian Vets here because they're Battle Line.
Yeah. So, and he's Bounty Hunter.
Yep.
So, that would have been an extra... He could have been damage 3. So that would have been big. And the Rend would do more against them than it would Kairos. So, it could have been big, but I failed the rerollable charge. Rolled from a
not big enough to get into the Flamers.
Not big enough to get in the Flamers. Rolled from a 5 to a 4.
Yep.
So that was it. That'll be my turn. Vampires hanging on in there, fighting a bunch of horrors.
Surviving somehow.
Not taking any wounds.
Yeah.
So we're here. I also don't claim that home objective too, which is a bit disappointing. So I won't get more. So I'll just get 1 point. Actually, this is still contested, correct?
No, I controlled it on my turn, so I took control.
So you do have control.
Yeah.
So given that's the case, you do have more, so I only get 1 point. So it'll be tied at 9s. Tzeentch's lovely number. So we'll see what they have in store for us then.
And with that, I'm going to try and deal with these pesky Blood Knights. I've been tied up with that hero for so long, but we'll jump into Tzeentch turn 4, see where we end up.
The Tzeentch battle tactic is desecrate their lands. The Fate Master fails heroic leadership, but the Vampire Lord succeeds. The Fate Master uses Lord of Fates. Kairos casts Gift of Change and deals 3 mortal wounds to the Blood Knights. Kairos casts Bolt of Change and deals 1 mortal wound to the Blood Knights. Kairos casts Arcane Bolt and unleashes it to deal 2 mortal wounds to the Blood Knights. The Flamers use all-out attack and kill the Blood Knights. Kairos uses 2 Destiny Dice to make his charge and kills the Skeletons. Tzeentch holds 1 objective and completes their battle tactic for 3 points.
All right, so Tzeentch turn 4, and I was pretty effectively able to clean up the Blood Knights, which are the main thing. Because in the positioning that we were in and with the store where it was at, I just needed to keep even. Where even if you went priority store there, we store the same this turn and next turn. That was fine with me because I had that 1 or couple point advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So I will get hold 1 here. I did not hold more like you. I do get my battle tactic though of desecrate their lands because that terrain piece was just partially within your territory. So I'll get 3 points here.
Putting you up by 3 right now.
Maintaining the lead or building the lead even.
Yeah.
And again, pretty much same thing I've been doing every turn. Pop my aura for the reroll hits, shoot the Flamers, and whatever they're shooting at, in Eternal Conflagration, they're rinsing through it. I really do like the unit of 9.
It's a strong unit.
And Unleash Hell has been scary.
It's been very scary, and in retrospect, I think I did probably need to deal with them over Kairos. Now it's easy to say, but like Kairos maximum damage is putting out 12 mortals, maybe plus a bolt, so he could maybe be 15 as maximum damage.
Yeah.
These guys just did 16 damage
after saves and wards.
After saves and wards and everything. 16 after all the saves.
Yeah.
So like it's that much bigger of a threat. So to have been able to delete them and then also have the knights at full strength after deleting them, that would have been way better. As a move. So, but all in retrospect. So I won't be able to achieve.
Why don't we roll priority and then we'll just be able to talk about the last couple rounds. That's a 4.
I got 6.
Okay,
so I will get my desecrate your lands and
you just need to,
I just auto run my vampire.
You can run. You can take this one over here for desecrate.
Yeah. So I'll do that, and then I'm on the grave site, which is towards my grand strat.
Yeah.
So.
So you get 3 points there. On my turn, I don't know if I'm in range of doing 2 holy within your territory.
These guys will kill my vampire.
Yeah, so I'll be able to kill them. Throw those horrors over there. I don't think I'm. Let's see. No, I'm not going to be able to get holy within your territory for the Savage Spearhead. But no matter what here, even if I just get 1 point, that's going to be enough for me to maintain my lead.
Yeah.
And again, sending Flamers over here and this guy, I would kill your Vampire Lord, claim this terrain piece, march them over there to take that one. Even if I just hold the 2, it denies you your grand strategy.
Right. And you'll get yours.
Yeah, for killing all your battle line, which was a tough task, to be fair.
Yeah.
You have a lot of battle line in the list. But that Ren 2 shooting makes me like, this is still a strong army here.
Especially if you'd had the Purple Sun hopping around there.
Yeah.
I don't think it was useful in my list, especially coming up against Tzeentch.
Yeah.
But in your list, the extra -1 Ren for shooting would be spicy.
Disgusting.
So I think that the Purple Sun might have a place in your list if you can fit it in there
100%.
somewhere. So I don't know if you have any points to spare, but
I think you're really
scary. Tzeentch with that is not fun.
Yeah, there's definitely a list here that could be very competitive. I think it makes me want to explore a little more.
You could just drop a portal because you didn't even use portal
for sure.
So
and the Exalted Flamers, like I could see trying to get rid of swapping the Exalteds for more pinks, more horrors potentially. Maybe get a little more spell. It's tough because the army is very thin here, right? Like there's not a ton going on. There's not a ton of wiggle room.
Yeah.
But very, very spicy here. The 9 Flamers were again just ripping through stuff, and they were such a scary thing to charge into with the Unleash Hell, because even 4s going to 5s isn't great, but when you're re-rolling, it's a lot better. And they were getting 10 mortal wounds when you charge them, or 10 damage through after saves and wards. Like anytime you charge them, like that was tough. They were tough to deal with.
Super horrifying.
Yeah, I was gonna run like a unit of 6 or maybe 2, 3, or a couple 3s, but I'm really happy I went with a 9. For the Unleash Hell alone, it was worth it.
And lots of learnings for me playing a new army
for the first
time. I think one of the things that Jordan, being a good positional deployment player, did was he castled up in a way that it really mitigated my benefit from dropping them from the side.
Yeah.
I should have kind of seeing where and how Jordan was going to deploy. It would have been better to just have my unit of 10 right up in the center and just push them straight
them in the middle,
up. And like even if they die, they go in there, they're going to be +2 damage because Jordan's they're bounty hunters, and then a +1 on the charge.
And you can get a Mystic Shield on them.
And I could get a Mystic Shield, and I could really be pumping up
really
their power.
They would have been amazing to utilize that turn 2 when you won Prio. Could have popped your Rousing Commander.
Yeah.
Blown all that
and
stuff up a
potentially
lot
it's
sooner.
such a big unit too. It might even screen out the objective a little bit from your horse.
Yeah, but like, yeah, that could have been
that would have been a better strategy.
Because here, them deep striking, they just
wasted 2
turns. They were 2 turns, and even turn 3 wasn't until turn 4 they got up into that Exalted Flamer. That's the first thing they're killing is not very worthwhile, and then turn 5 they finally, come over and
to Kairos.
Didn't even do enough.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was 3 and 4. Yeah, I think
it was
you're
3 and 4, but but still a little too late for such an expensive unit, right?
Yeah.
400 points.
Yeah.
That came and they killed a Flamer. So
yeah.
It was really when you look at it like that, not great.
Not the best.
But Vampire Lord was my MVP. He took on a whole unit of horrors by himself.
Yeah,
and tied them down for 2 to 3 turns.
And he's still full health, so.
Still full health.
Yep.
So I'm happy with him.
No, it was a great game actually. Always fun to play some of these armies that you don't see very much and see that like there is still strength in them. Like they are like this army, like it could run through a lot of things in the meta. Like it is.
Yeah, Tzeentch definitely could, and I think Soulblight. I do think it's in a bit of a harder spot. I think that it shows you need to be playing a much more precise game.
Yes, they're like an A- B army that like if you play the pants off them and did a couple favorable matchups, people have had good runs. And shout out to Jeremy Vessier. He went 5-0 to GT with them recently, so that's awesome to see those kind of results.
Yeah.
Here, Tzeentch, you can tell this might be Shaiish, but we had home field advantage. Our base is matched, so we're used to fighting this territory.
Oh, for sure. It definitely helps.
Yes, but I think that's pretty much it, Oliver. So as always, thanks for the game. It was a ton of fun.
Thank you.
And thank you to our premium members for making it all possible. Hope you guys enjoyed this match. Everybody, if you do enjoy our content, don't forget to check out our membership to get more videos, more games. But that's it for now. We'll see you guys soon in another battle report.
Take care. Bye.